In this lesson, we're going to cover finding matching brackets and how we can use tools inside of the Eclipse IDE to quickly find our matching brackets. Now this is of course very important when we get into more advanced programming and we need to be able to determine the scope of an if statement, or if we're inside of a current method, or even inside of an internal class inside of another class. So what I'd like to do is highlight a couple of the things that we can use that the IDE gives us. So let's open up Password Data Editor and let's go ahead and maximize that. Once that's maximized, here we can see the first tool. So if I click on a line of code, note the blue line on the left-hand side that appears on the line of code that I'm on. Now watch what happens when I click on the line of a method or a class. All of a sudden the blue line becomes quite a bit longer. And where do you suppose the blue line ends? This one is going to go to the end of the class, which is of course the matching bracket for the one that I'm currently on. So one tool we can use is the blue line that appears on the left-hand side, which helps us determine the scope of certain items. Here, we're in the Enable Edit method. What you will note is this does fail. Once we go inside of an if statement or inside of a try-catch, the scope is now too narrow and the blue line only tells us the method. It does not tell us just the matching for the try or the catch. So let's say that this try-catch block for some reason was much longer. Well, how might we be able to tell if we're still in the same try-catch? Or if we need to, how could we get from the bottom of the bracket to the top? Well, there's actually a shortcut that we can use, which is to use the Control key or the command, hold the Control command key plus Shift plus P. Now that will take us to the matching bracket. So if I hit Control Shift P, you can see that it does move the cursor between the two brackets. I'm just hitting it over and over again here. Now this is of course a lot more pronounced if we're on a larger method. You can see that that takes us from top to bottom very easily. And so that's one way that we can find the matching bracket. So we've seen the blue line, we've seen Control Shift P or Command Shift P, and finally let's look at one other way. Using the Navigate menu, we can use Navigate, go to Matching Bracket. And you can see Control Shift P is actually highlighted there in case you ever forget what the key code is. And once again, that's an easy way to find a matching bracket. Now that wraps up our look at finding matching brackets using the tools inside of the Eclipse IDE.